Okay, so I'm going to try and fire. I don't know whether this is in the right place, but they were using it to fire in this direction, so I'm going to try it. Oh, we hit some... We hit one of our own guys. Hello and welcome back to the Ronin, and when we left off, we were, well, kind of at a bit of a crossroads, because we had a number of different fiefs under our command. As you can see, I've actually lost one of them. That was purely on purpose, by the way. I basically thought to myself, do I want to dedicate resources, and indeed what I mean by that is, of course, units, to the defense of this castle? And the answer came back no. I did not want to do that because generally I'm already somewhat spread thin. My money situation is almost spiraling out of control, and I would like to try and contain it while I still can, because it can very easily spiral in the opposite direction. And, well, I'm losing quite a lot per day, and it can get even worse if I allow it to. So having multiple garrisons to pay the wages of, probably not the best idea. I don't even want Morinia Castle personally. I would much prefer to not have that because it is far away. It is very difficult for me to defend it, but it does have 91 defenders. I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't been taken yet. Anyway, we're going to be making peace. I'm actually going to spend 100 influence here just purely for the 20,000 experience gain and the additional charm. And we've now made peace with the Southern Empire, which is absolutely fantastic, by the way, because we are now getting a split of the tribute money, which I very much like, because that's going to help me with my various payments and everything that I have to make every single day, and hopefully it's going to mean that I don't need to rush around to every single marketplace and be like, do you have any money? Do you have any money? And do you have any money? And so on. And then try and sell as much of my ill-gotten gains as I possibly can. That's what I've been attempting to do, at the very least, in my off-screen time. I've also been doing a couple of tasks, nothing really to write home about here or there, just a bunch of training the troops quests. And also I do have a very large number of prisoners in my army at the moment, and what I'm going to do with those is I think I'm just going to place them in Onira, to be honest. I don't really want to deal with them in sort of like a micromanaging way, so I'm going to be doing that. And bear in mind that obviously now that we've made peace with the Southern Empire, Danustica is off the table. I actually intended to take that in this upcoming episode, this very episode. I wanted to, expand our territory to that, and then basically have like a really nice little section here that is completely comprised of Tetsujin territory. But unfortunately, that is not going to happen this time around, because they swooped in there. They swooped in there with a wonderful peace declaration, and it is definitely paying them dividends now. It is absolutely paying off for them, because that means that they don't lose Danustica. I'm pretty sure I would have been able to do it even if I had to call for additional reinforcements or something like that. It would have been, in my opinion, pretty easy for us to make it work. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend a focus... should I spend a focus point in this, actually? Because Charm Skill, in my opinion, is actually not even that good later on. Because, as you can see, the only thing it gives you is 1 influence point. It's actually not even worth it. So I'm actually going to be spending my point in scouting instead, and we're also going to spend an attribute point in that as well. And we also have a perk here. So when moving through steppes or forests, to reduce food consumption by 10%, 20% reduction in disorganized state recovery duration. That's fantastic. I love that particular thing. Also, when moving through steppes or plains, you have a 5% chance of finding a mount daily. Now, I previously said in the Duelist series that I personally felt like this was a somewhat useless skill. However, since then, I have reevaluated my standpoint on that, because there was a person, I believe, in the comments of one of those episodes that was basically saying that the 5% chance actually happens a lot more than you think, and you were able to gain massive amounts of horses, and as a result then also sell them. I think that's what you said, at least. Sell them for a decent amount of cash. So if you are someone that is a primarily mounted unit and you want to get a whole bunch of mounts and maybe you need some money, then that's a good way to go about it. But I'm going to go for the 20% reduction in disorganized state recovery. I personally feel like that is going to be more useful for my current goals And you may be asking yourself, well, who are you going to fight then if the Southern Empire is off the table? Well, the Western Empire has had a war declaration lobbied against them, so that is exactly where we are going next. And I am very much looking forward to taking them on because it's a bit of a change of pace, you know. It's nice that we see different people, and I literally just bankrupted this place exceedingly. Wow. That is instant, basically. Wow. Okay, so let me actually just make it a little bit easier. Oh, no, it actually would have worked with the exception of just one. Oh, that's actually hilarious. Anyway, I'm going to be buying more steppe war horses, more desert horses, and more steppe horses. Basically, I am trying to get as many horses in my inventory as I can because I have such a large army now. I need those infantry on their mounts. I need mounts for the infantry, and that is going to make a big difference. Anyway, we're going to make a brief stopover in Onira after this, just so that I can place a bunch of units in the garrison there, and I'm talking about prisoners and, well, prisoners, that's pretty much it. That's what we're going to be placing over there. And then we're going to be making our way over to the nearest ooh, it's actually really far, isn't it? I don't know why the Tetsujin decided to attack the Western Empire. I feel like it's a big mistake. I don't know why they would have done this, but, well, what can we do about it now? Not much, I suppose. Not much. I mean, I don't think I would have been able to stop it anyway, even if I had spent, you know, 100 influence or something like that. I don't think it would have made any difference at all. And I would like to... Now, here's the problem. I would like to expand my army, but I don't want to move so exceedingly slowly that it's going to adversely affect how we're able to even get into combat with some people, because otherwise they're just going to be super fast and it's just going to be impossible to get in there. So not entirely sure if I'm going to continue with such a large army here, but I always have the option to place units in the garrison, and that's, in my opinion, worth it at the very least, because if I place them in the garrison of, for example, Marinia Castle, that's the closest to the Western Empire territory at the moment, then if I place it in there, don't have to really worry, you know? I don't have to really worry about them because they are doing a job. They're actually being useful. They are not just being disbanded, and all of the time and effort that I've used so far to to upgrade them. And you may think, oh, why are you laughing? Oh, I'm laughing about this. Because they are besieging Marinia Castle, hilariously enough. I literally just appeared here, and then all of a sudden, boom, they are attacking. Alright, so we're actually building the walls, but this is hilarious. It's taking 50 days to build the walls. Let me actually just see if I can reduce that. 43 days? Yeah, 43 days is the maximum that I can increase it, so I guess that's alright, but walls? Really? Walls? I mean, personally, I don't think that that really makes any difference. That much, at least. We're going to see what happens, though, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to continue with their siege here. They are? Right, I'm actually kind of surprised about this. I wouldn't have expected them to do so, but I guess they actually have some really good units. The combat strength is okay. I mean, we've got tier 2 walls. Look at that. We have level 2 walls. I don't think that they're going to really be able to do this, but let's see. Ah, yes, exactly. This is kind of what I thought might actually happen. And Hanzo's army has come out of nowhere and is now assisting us, which I very much appreciate. Now, the problem with this, can I sally out? I'm not entirely sure. Let me actually have a look. Yep, indeed. I can actually sally out at any time. Wow, look at this. They are... Wait a minute. Yeah, the game has a bit of a bug. I don't know whether you've noticed this in the past, but sometimes when you join a battle, the banners at the top are also a little bit mixed up, as well as the colors and indeed the power levels of the various forces in the combat situation. So this is going to be interesting to see what actually happens here. I could have left and saved myself, but I'm very much wanting to participate in a larger battle. And I'm also going to reduce the damage taken to my character at this point, because I don't think it's very fun for me, and I don't think it's very fun for you either, or entertaining, to see me die in the first 2 seconds. Well, it actually turns out that I need to change those options outside of the battle. My bad. Yes. You can tell that I haven't actually changed the settings that often, if at all, to be honest, in my time with Bannerlord, because let's face it, I have played it for multiple hundreds of hours already, and I have scarcely accessed that menu. So it's a pretty bad thing indeed, because that means that I'm going to potentially get headshot by some Imperial Sergeant Crossbowman and hopefully not get killed instantly. But yeah, I think it's probably going to be a little better for me to reduce the damage to half or something like that, or to 3/4 or whatever it is. Not entirely sure what the settings are now, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do that, because then that's going to make it a lot more fun. It's going to be a lot easier for me to stay alive, although it is still going to be possible for me to die very quickly if I make stupid mistakes, which is a very likely thing to happen, of course. You know me. Anyway, let's get into a nice shield wall formation, even though my people are, quite frankly, most likely not going to be that defensive. So, generally, it's not really going to make too much difference if I do that. And they are 130 away so far. I think this is one of the maps I don't really like, by the way. It's a bit weird as well, because usually I like these kinds of field maps, you know, grasslands and things like that, because I personally feel like they have a lot of balance, a lot of synergy with all kinds of different unit types. But the main problem with them is this one in particular has like a dip, like a small valley in the middle of it, and that always results in a huge amount of disparity in the performance of certain units. And if, for example, I were to move over here and the enemy were to move their archers into the valley itself, we would absolutely get shredded. Yeah, by the way, what is this? It's Yumiko. Okay, Yumiko is not actually a part of my army, although I am able to command her for some reason. I'm actually not entirely sure why that is, but she is tagged as infantry, but she's not in my army, so I can't do anything about that. Just so you know. Anyway, let's move my archers a little bit ahead. Thankfully, my guys are mostly using shields, so I shouldn't have too big a problem with that, hopefully. And I'm going to literally just move around here. I'm going to get off my mount. And I'm going to just hide behind my horse and do a little bit of shooting. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice little shot right there. Maybe a little bit more. Nice. Okay, good. I'm hitting in the leg. I'm not a big fan of that. Ah, chest. That's much better. Alright. Okay, let me just start moving my cavalry over here as well. Oh, horsey. No, no, no. Oh. Well, that's a bit problematic, isn't it? Okay, well, we might have some issues as a result of that, but okay. I guess I just have to be a little bit more of a commander this time around, because otherwise I'm going to get absolutely murdered instantly. There we go. Another leg shot. There we go. Yes, we're doing so much damage to their legs. I can't believe it. Yes, fantastic. So good. I am so skilled that I can literally hit a leg every single time I shoot. Can you believe it? Okay, there we go, there we go. My crossbowmen. My longbowmen are actually getting into the action now. Let's move my forces just a little bit to the edge of the valley there so that they have the high ground pretty obviously. And now I'm going to move my cavalry over here. I should probably tell my horse archers just to charge actually, because horse archers are generally having one of the best AI layouts that I've so far seen in Bannerlord. They generally tend to keep themselves at a distance, and they are very, very reliable in their actions, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about it. Anyway, let's get in there and do some damage. Yes, here we go. I can't believe I've actually survived up until this point, to be honest. I think that is sheer luck, almost, basically. Okay, so here we go. Oh, ooh, this guy, he knows what's up. He's sneaky. Who is it? It's just a legionary. What, really? Okay, well, that's interesting. I actually thought it was a named or something, like an enemy vassal of some kind, but no, it was just a regular legionary. He was remarkably good at, well, drawing you in and then swiftly turning around and then slashing at you. And yeah, well, most of the AI, I suppose, is kind of like that, apparently. Okay, come on now, get him. No, 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 no. What? Okay. I'm not in... Did he crush through that? I'm not entirely sure. Because I could swear that I was blocking. I could really swear that I was blocking right there. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but we are going to achieve victory. That is a pretty much surefire thing at this point, and I don't really mind about it because this army that we've had to fight here, the Empire's army, is significantly larger in terms of its numbers because it's obviously one singular army in comparison to our armies, which are obviously two combined, which is the main reason why we were able to outnumber them this time, but our singular armies were much smaller. So it's very, very cool that we were able to take them out because that means that they'll have a much harder time of besieging things. And hopefully we're going to do okay. I feel like we're actually maybe ending up... Are we going to lose? No, we're not losing. Okay, fantastic. Phew. I'm a bit worried, actually. I was a bit worried there for a second. Seems like it ended up being relatively close, but not close enough. Western Empire scoundrels, thank you very much. And there you go. Nice victory for us right there. You know, personally, I'm surprised that I lived as long as I did, because generally that doesn't happen that often. Me being able to shoot off a bunch of crossbow bolts and even getting into the enemy's lines a little bit as well. That usually does not happen, so I was pleasantly surprised, actually. Yeah, not bad, not bad. All right, I'm going to just leave the prisoners so that my people can take them if they want. Huge amounts of really, really good loot here. I mean, obviously, that's what you're going to expect from these kinds of battles, because you're going to be able to gain a number of really nice pieces of loot from the vassals that you're fighting. And there you go. All right, not bad at all. I have 36,000 in gold at the moment, which is really not that much, and definitely needs to increase. And Melchior has died in battle. I don't believe that's one of ours, so I'm pretty happy that they've already lost someone, so that's really nice. Anyway, as you can see, my friends lost pretty much no units. I mean, they lost a couple, but nothing really too bad. And as a result, we should be able to maintain quite a lot of combat, shall we say, well, viability, because we are, of course, going to be going into more battles again and again. And I didn't even intend to defend Marinia Castle at this point, but they just turned up, and I was just like, oh, okay, hello, let's do it, you know? And so there you go. That happened. Okay, so clan member parties gain 10% more influence from actions, gain 20% more influence from personal actions. Yeah, we're going to go for 20% more influence from personal actions, because, well, who can you rely on if you can't rely on yourself? That's generally how I think about things in Bannerlord, because the AI is really not to be trusted, as we have seen so far. They tend to be more of the backstabby kind of people at this moment in time. Anyway, we're just going to put a whole bunch of prisoners in Marinia Castle, and that means that I'm going to have to go over to garrison recruitment, and we're going to have to recruit prisoners over time. This is indeed causing a bit of a problem for me, though, because it now means that I will indeed have much higher wages than I actually wanted. So this might very well be a bit of a problem. Anyway, I'm just going to take more from the garrison here, mostly the Tetsugen units, and we're also going to be recruiting units. Ah, we are actually recruiting units from here. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so garrison training. Let's set the maximum troop tier to 3, as I do, and we're going to enable the training there as well. All right, so that's pretty good. Anything else going on? Onira seems okay. Odrisa is also okay. Let me take a look at my fiefs real fast as well. Let me make sure that everything is going nicely. Yes, it seems to be going well. And this is also going well. As you can see, Onira has 208 in the garrison. Odrisa has 174. I think that's a little bit too much. That's probably the reason why I am... Well, I wouldn't say I'm hemorrhaging money right now, but I'm definitely having some difficulties... you know, maintaining it. And we have 2 tributes as well, so do bear that in mind. Anyway, I'm going to go over to Vostrom. Hopefully they have a good amount of cash in there so that I'll be able to bankrupt them oh so nicely, and then they'll be able to sustain our army for a little bit of extra time. Yeah, look at that, 52,000. That's actually very nice. I'm going to take a little bit of extra food here because I'd like to try and level up my steward skill just a little more. And unfortunately, they don't have a huge amount of wine or anything, but we'll make do as best we can. There we go. All right, so let's just sell this. Let's see what we're going to get. We're going to get a lot. Oh, yes. Look at that. And I think a couple more. One more should be fine, and there we have it. Alright, perfect. Alright, so I guess it's about time that we join another siege, and we're going to join the continuing siege of this person right here. I actually don't know who's leading the army, but whatever the case, it is a Tetsujin army, and that's all we need to know. So let's try and help them out a little bit here. I would like to get some engineering skill too. That's also the reason why I wanted to head in here, because it is going to, well, help us in a wide variety of different ways. But of course, I think most of the engineering perks are not even implemented just yet. Alright, so I'm not even entirely sure whether I even want to go in here. I actually wanted to besiege this myself, because I personally felt like I would be able to destroy the garrison from outside quite easily due to how fast we're able to build siege equipment. But I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. I mean, well, as you can quite clearly tell from the combat strength at the moment, it seems like this is going to go extremely easily. But, well, we'll see. We'll see. You know how it is. Sometimes you think to yourself, this is going to be an easy fight. And then it turns out to be one of the hardest that you've ever seen and indeed experienced. And, well, hopefully it's not going to be like that this time, because I would very much like to get on the walls, try and do some damage, and yeah, we do actually have some catapults, don't we? Didn't we build some catapults or something like that? I think we did. So I will be heading on over there. Oh yeah, I didn't even change the difficulty. I always forget. Fantastic. That's what happens, you know. That's what happens when you stay playing on the same difficulty for the entirety of the time that you play the game. You're just like, you know, I'm gonna change the difficulty to make it a little bit easier for us all. You know, because it's going to be less frustrating for you as well. And obviously for me too, because let's face it, you know, running in and getting a headshot by some kind of thrown weapon instantly and not getting to attack anything, that is surely not that enjoyable. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can maybe get on this. No. Thank you. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to try and fire. I don't know whether this is in the right place, but they were using it to fire in this direction, so I'm going to try it. Oh, we hit some... We hit one of our own guys. Yeah. We hit one of our own guys. Okay, that's not very good, fellows. I would appreciate it if you wouldn't actually shoot at our own men. I'm not entirely sure why they decided to do that, but okay. Anyway, I'm going to try and do something a little bit different then. We're going to try for a little bit of a different tact here. I'm going to just try and shoot over to the right. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. That's the kind of damage I want to see. All right, let me see if I can just turn it a little more and then fire. Okay, come on now. We're getting unlucky now. We're getting unlucky. Okay, just one more shot. One more shot, and then I think the other siege equipment should be at the walls. Boom. Let's see what happens. Not good enough. Alright, I'll leave you guys to it. Good luck. I hope they're going to do a good job. And there's my horse. Oh, yes. Don't shoot. Can you imagine? Can you literally imagine that happening, where I'm just kind of minding my own business, being like, don't shoot me while I'm, passing in front of you, and then they shoot, and then it just so happens to take me out. I don't think it's even possible for that to happen, but it would be amusing to no end if that actually did happen. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can maybe get up here. I'm going to use the Yari if I need to, because obviously it is a bit of a pokey stick, and it is useful for staying at longer range. Although I do have a crossbow, so maybe that would actually make sense. Hello. I'm going to bring out my crossbow, shoot that guy, and then we're going to try and shoot a bunch of others. Because, let's face it, I don't really use the opportunity to use my crossbow as much as I should. Nice. Okay, more experience for the crossbow, thank you. I shot the ground. Yes, lovely. Or a shield. Nice. Good headshot. Okay, it's kind of hard to actually shoot this close up. Oh, no, I'm getting shot. Great. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go third person. I feel like third person is actually somewhat easier to shoot sometimes. It really depends on a number of factors, of course, but I feel, for me, it seems much easier to shoot in third person. I don't know, I seem to be extremely inaccurate when I go into first, so it's a bit strange, but I guess whatever works, whatever works best. That's the way to go. Okay, I've got to be a bit careful here because, yes. This is a bit problematic. Okay. I'm going to just run away a little here. Just going to try and bait some of them into attacking me. What is this guy on? Look at him. He is an absolute monster. He's just an a regular Imperial spearman, and he was able to basically match me swing for swing in combat. I suppose we don't have the, well, I mean, we don't have the greatest weapon proficiency right now, so I suppose it actually makes sense. I think these guys actually have more weapon proficiency than I do, hilariously enough. I got shot in the head. Did you see that? I actually got... Did I? I think I did get shot in the head. I got shot in the head at the same time as I think I got hit in the head. So there is that. But, well, at least I survived for a little bit longer this time. And I haven't, as I said, changed the difficulty yet. But I will be doing that in my off-screen time. And I'll show you the difficulty settings at the beginning of the next episode so that you can see what I'm actually playing on. In case you're playing alongside me, or in case you're thinking, you know what? You're thinking that you should play on a high difficulty or whatever the case may be, just for the sake of playing on high difficulty. But that's actually not the way to go, in my opinion. I feel like you should always play the way that you think is fun. And that's all that matters. Because if it's frustrating, what's the point? You know? If it's frustrating, what's the point? Right? I mean, that's what I think, at least. Anyway, we're going to continue onward. We were able to take this, which is very nice. I personally, as I said before, would have stayed in the siege combat on the world map much longer, because the way that this leader of the army did it, I don't really agree with it, to be honest. I feel like weakening the garrison much more before heading in would have made all the difference, and we probably would not have had to fight as many defenders, and it would have made so much sense. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. A little bit of a shorter one today. I don't have a huge amount of time as they are bashing down my door and hunting me down. No, they're not. No, that's just a joke. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.